Rev up your engines for the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast with Big E. Proudly sponsored by Christensen Law, where bikers helping engine bikers is more than just a motto. It's our commitment to the biker community. Be sure to tune in and listen to the latest news and biker buzz. And for all your personal injury needs, be sure to contact the Christensen Law team at 248-900-9000. What's up, bikers? It's Big E, and you're listening to the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast. We're talking all things bikes, the freedom of the road, and the brotherhood that makes this lifestyle what it is. From killer tips to wild stories from the highway, we've got it all right here. Life is short, bikers, so let's get after it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I know you guys have been anticipating my third installment from the Steel Horse Ranch. So here we go. We have today Jerry Reardon, and he is the main man at Double Take Customs. Welcome to the podcast, Jerry.
Hey, I appreciate being here.
So, for those of you that don't know what Double Take Customs is, it is like your complete paint shop, correct? You do it pretty much all.
We're pretty much a full-blown custom shop. I've leaned more towards bikes now over the last few years because doing total restorations on old hot rods and stuff, it's just gotten too hard and to do, and believe it or not, it's hard to find any good help,
Yeah, I hear that.
To work today.
There's a lot of that for some reason.
Yeah, and all the old guys are, either beat up and getting ready to retire, or they're set in a job that they've been at for years, and, they don't want to leave a secure job.
Right.
So I pretty much do everything myself. If I get a little bit of help here and there, I'm grateful for that. But for the most part, it's me.
And so last Saturday,
get help from Pine Bars, Tim and Wrench. They're good. They tear a lot of stuff down for me and reinstall. So I do get some help, but they're good guys over there.
Yes, they are. So last Saturday when I was down there, you were not there, but Mike showed me your shop, and it was very clean, as a paint shop should be. Nice little setup you got there.
Yeah, it works for what I've got going on. As far as being clean, it's probably cleaner than most paint shops you walk into. I try to keep it clean. It's all got to do with the end product.
Right. So how long you been painting?
Oh, Lord. I've been painting since I was a kid. I started probably 8, 9 years old, tearing my bicycles apart with a rattle can and, building models. And I've always been able to draw. And then I asked my mom and my pops, for an airbrush, and so I started airbrushing back then and messing around with that. And it's just something, that I pretty much have done for the last 40 years, maybe a little longer.
Wow.
I've, I've had a couple shops. I made my main living hauling cars. Local 299 Teamsters. I got to give them a shout out. But since they're paying my pension now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I basically made my living hauling cars. And then when I came off the road, I started doing this pretty much. I'd like to say pretty much full time. I'm supposed to be.
So, yeah, definitely. I always thought it'd be cool to be a painter. And like you, I, tear bikes apart and rattle can them and did models and painted models. And that was, I always thought it'd be a cool job. You watch the shows with all the restoration jobs that they do on all them sweet cars. But unfortunately, I'm not very artistically inclined when it comes to that. So
You got to have a lot of patience, especially, just slapping some paint down on something isn't hard, but you start doing fades and making things look right from one side to the other side, and for stuff to match up, and that's probably one of the hardest and biggest things where a lot of experience comes in, is when you start laying down lines and getting things to look correct from one side to another side, or it doesn't matter what you're working on.
yeah, Mike showed me that trike you had that you did some work on, and I mean, you couldn't tell. It looked perfect.
Yeah, I did some blending. A lot of times it's easier. I don't want to say it's easier. It's actually harder to blend something than to just paint a panel, but you can't just paint a panel because there's going to be a color difference, from one panel to the next. So you're either blending into a panel or then I usually re-clear the whole panel, but on that trike, everything was one piece back there on the rear fender, so I actually had to burn the clear in. And what that is where you're burning something in that's not to an edge and trying to not see it when it's all done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, it looked great. I thought I couldn't see.
And some colors are harder than others. The darker you get, the harder it is because it tends to leave a line. And that's the main thing you don't want to see is a line.
Right.
So, I mean, it just makes my job a little bit harder. But, sure, I'd rather just paint the whole panel and be done with it, or just paint the whole thing and be done with it than doing blend work. But, I get a lot of people come to me just because of that. And my fades, my fades are pretty much off the hook. I don't want to tap myself on the back or whatnot, but, I get a lot of people come to me more for tedious stuff like that make things match, because that's one of the main things I do. You can bring me something and I will make it match to what you've got.
Yeah, that's kind of what Mike said too. So he said you're very good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, and for some reason I've always have been, I've just always have had an eye for that, or be able to take a color and put a little dab of this and a little dab of that. And, don't get me wrong, there's been some jobs that's, I wanted to pull my hair out if I had any, but, in the long run, I usually end up getting it. I don't think I've had a job that anybody has complained about and said, hey, man, this ain't going to fly,
Right.
So I've been pretty fortunate.
Cool. So, do you have like something that you're like a bike that you're like super, super proud of it's just like the one
Well,
that's just like
you just
awesome.
want to dig up an old can of damn worms, don't you?
Well,
Well, yeah, there was, and I kind of got burned on the job. And when I came off the road, I had this big idea. I was going to travel around and do this custom paint and stuff for people. And a couple shops down in Florida, Greg's Custom Cycles. He's nationally renowned bike builder, and I did a lot of paint for him for quite a few years. And we built a bike for John Travolta down there, and he's in Clearwater. So yeah, we built a bike for him, and I mean, the paint work was just off the frickin' hook in this thing, and I can't even remember what magazine that got the spread in, but frickin' Greg in the end, just, he's like, in our paint shop. I'm like, really, dude, our paint shop? You couldn't even give me a shout out, at least put my name in there. So that kind of rubbed me wrong. So we kind of broke up for a little while because I was butthurt. but a few years later, I ended up doing some other stuff for him. But I mean, I've done some stuff for some people that's been some really high dollar stuff, I've had people dig me up out of the woodwork to do the Bernstein bike when I actually was planning on being retired and done. And Mike got a hold of me, and him met a few years ago, and I did the Billy bike for him from the Easy Rider movie. And I mean, me and him became family, and throughout the last couple of years, getting to know each other and Mike's dreams. And this has always been one of his dreams. And, to have a place like Steel Horse Ranch to where just, old bikers can come together and work together and help each other out. And, Jody she's phenomenal. I mean, she does so much for Steel Horse Ranch with all the live, with all the lives she does and everything she does behind the scenes. I mean, if it wasn't for her, we probably honestly wouldn't have a lot of the business we've got because, she does get everything out there. I mean, she's probably a bigger part of Steel Horse Ranch than Mike is, I mean, she's phenomenal. And the love, like a family. And, I mean, we bicker and argue just like family,
right.
And then you kiss and you make up and it's done and it's over. But, Mike and Jody they actually gave me a big, I owe them a lot. They've been there for me, not just as business acquaintances, but as friends and family. And, they both have been a blessing to my life. So, I'm really grateful for that. I don't know if I'm so much grateful them getting my ass back working as much as I am, but,
Yeah.
If Mike could hold his hand out in front of him, the back of his hand, and put his pinky and his ring finger down, and then tuck his thumb in and put that pointer finger down, that's what I'm saying to him right now. But I love him to death. And, I love Jody, and Jody does a lot for, a lot that people don't see, behind the scenes. And like I said, I don't think Steel Horse would be what it is today as far as business wise if it wasn't for her. And it didn't help none the damn bridge. As soon as we opened up, they closed the bridge on 24, which I mean has just been that hurt. It hurt, and we still get people coming in, and I'm busy as hell. I mean, I had a brother come up, a good friend from California. I'm like, hey, bro, I need some help for a couple weeks. Can you come help me get catched up? Jeff Jackson is his name. I am very grateful for him. And he was supposed to come up for 2 weeks, and he was here for 4 months.
Holy cow.
I don't think his old lady's going to let him come back up and visit me no more anytime soon.
No.
But, he got me caught up, and, big shout out to him. And, everybody's great, between, tees and stuff, and, behind bars, and just the ranch itself, and Mike and Jody. It's been a blessing,
Yeah, they're super cool people. Like I said, when I got there, Mike was waiting for me outside, just, and it's like he's known me all his life. Just super cool.
Mike itself freaking iced an Eskimo, but
yeah,
he's like that with everybody though. Everybody Mike is like that with. If you want to feel like family, I swear, come to the ranch.
Definitely.
Because you will feel like family, even if you have never met any of us before, and especially Mike. He will talk to you like he's known you his whole life.
Yep. I couldn't agree more.
I mean, if something happens and you're short on cash, you break down. I mean, it doesn't matter,
Right.
I've seen them guys hook the trailers up and, roll 4 hours one way to save somebody and bring them back and fix their bike and say, hey, pay me later.
Yeah. He told me about a story about just like that when I was down there. He's like, yeah, we just go. He says,
that's the way
if you were around in the area and you
there.
needed something, just call. We'll be there. Yeah.
We're there for everybody. It doesn't matter, black, white, purple, green, blue. We're there for everybody. And, that's what we really want to be known for. And I mean, things are getting expensive, and I know damn well prices and paychecks don't match.
No, they do not.
And I mean, there could be somebody I don't know and ain't met them from Adam, and I'll finance them. I'll help them out. I mean, you want a custom paint job, you ain't got all the money, let's talk.
Right.
I mean, because I want you to be able to have what you want. And, I mean, we're all easy to work with.
Yeah.
We're family. That's just it.
Well, I'm already talking about taking my bike down there this spring. I want to get cams done. I want to get bars and different grips put on it. And I mean, I could do the bars and the grips pretty easily, I guess.
Yeah.
But while it's there, might as well just have it all done. And then I was thinking about getting some airbrush stuff done on my fairing. So I probably have to come talk to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, like right now, dude, I'm pretty much booked for the winter. I might take one more job. And actually, I got jammed up on this freaking like 49 Willys pickup truck that was a total restoration. That thing got me jammed up, and I've done a few for this old timer. And but besides that, I stayed pretty busy for it being through the summer. I was quite surprised. Busier than usual. So, I mean, they're doing something right there anyways, I mean, it ain't just me. I've been around forever. Double Take Custom's been around for years. And, I've always have held my own, and I've always have been just fine where I'm at. I make a little bit of side money on the, on the side, and, things are all good. But just through Steel Horse Ranch, I've been probably busier than I want to be sometimes,
So, Mike's got quite the collection of bikes. How many of them have you had your hands on?
How long does this podcast last?
Well, they have been known to last a couple hours, but
While you start talking about Mike's bikes, we might be here half the day, bro.
Well, I kind of figured that it might be a long conversation, but I know he's got a project he wants to do right now. I think a Cholo bike that he kind of was talking to me about, that he said that you're gonna do some off the hook paint on.
Yeah, it's been getting thrown around here a little bit more lately. I'm actually, and he's going to be the guinea pig on this, but I'm going to switch all my paint material up on his bike. There's a company out there, I'm not even going to say their name, but they've got some wicked ass colors.
Yeah.
And they're flakes, and the shit is just off. Oops, I don't know if I can swear or not. But,
you can. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Okay, well, their shit's off the hook, and so we actually, and they're a little bit cheaper. They've been around for a couple of years, and I've really been watching them hard, and reading reviews and seeing projects that they've done, and their colors are just phenomenal. So. Actually, we was going to talk about ordering colors Monday.
Nice.
Me and Mike for the bike. So, I know he would like. Mike's favorite thing is just psh, psh, and it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you got to do is sand it a little bit and psh, psh, and it's done.
The way he was talking, it's going to be quite the project, though.
Yeah. He'll probably have damn just as much money in pinstripe and tape than he will in damn product.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And, people bring me stuff, and, they're like, I want this and I want that. And I'm like, it's too much. It's too busy. Everything's got to flow together.
Right.
And believe it or not, a lot of people just let me run with it. And, I get stuff ready to paint, and it could sit there a month, dude. And I just walk by it. I nonchalantly look at it every now and then. And I could wake up at 2:00 in the morning and be, oh, okay, that's how this is going to go.
You're suddenly inspired. Yeah. That's what they say
That's the way I operate. Don't put me on the spot because I'll be like an idiot.
Yeah. Well,
I got to think about things just pop in my head. And I talk to a lot of artists. There's 2 other big airbrushers in the state of Michigan, and I'm not giving them a plug. But if people out there know anything about it, you'll know who they are. Pretty much we're kind of our own unique people, and I don't know if you want to, if we're kind of brain dead because all the fumes we smell, or, I don't know what it is, but we're pretty much all the same,
Yeah.
But it's when it's not fun no more, and it actually starts becoming work, then I think that's pretty much the time to get out of anything that you're doing in life,
Right. Yeah, that's pretty sound advice right there.
Well, when I was a kid, I messed around with slot car tracks and stuff, and I think all little boys did back then, teenagers or whatnot,
Yep.
So when I was actually going to retire last year, and, thanks to Mike, got me all pumped up on this shit. And, here I am getting all full blown back into it. But, I bought a slot car track, and I was going to do stuff more on the artistic side. Let's see how realistic I can make this look. Dude, when you got back looking into vintage slot cars and stuff from back in the 70s, you would not believe the money that are in them.
Really?
And being able to customize a 1/64th car. And, they kind of laughed at me for a minute, but, so what? I'm looking through a magnifying glass doing this itty bitty tiny detail stuff on a 1/64th car. I've got orders in that people's paying me to do these custom little cars,
Wow.
And let alone just finding old vintage cars and flipping them, and the auctions. And there's like an auction every night, but that's what I was going to do for my retirement. And, so I'm still messing around, just because I'm not at the shop don't mean I'm not working.
Right.
I mean, if I'm not working and I'm laid down and just not around, it's because I'm really knocked the hell out. I mean, I need a knee replacement. I got issues going on with me now. And you know what? I still go to work. You just got to push through.
Right. That's that work ethic that a lot of the younger generation doesn't have.
That's our age. That's what we do. I mean, these kids today, if they got a belly ache or if their finger hurts, they got to, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. If I didn't have an ache or pain, I'd think I was dead.
You got that right. and that's the honest God's truth right there.
Yep.
So, and definitely got to get him a plug because, he gave me a skill. And I mean, if it wasn't for him, I don't think any of us would be here. And, so he has kept me blessed. I mean, I have hard times just like anybody else does. And, but I got a lot of good friends that I've met through Steel Horse Ranch and become friends with and family. And I mean, like I said, again, we all look out for each other. And even though you are a part of the ranch if you come to the ranch.
Right.
So, your family.
Right. And they've been pretty supportive of the podcast already. So yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome.
I mean, this is cool. Big E, I mean, you're doing this, and I mean, I hate to say it, I didn't know nothing about you until just recently. Well, but
I'm relatively new. I've only been doing it for like a year and a half.
I think I heard of you when we was at Birch Run.
Okay, yeah. I was there. RJ is a good friend.
Got to get Thunder Roads Magazine.
Thunder Roads Magazine. Yep, RJ's a good friend. We went down there and gave him a hand. And, yep.
Yeah, he's cool. And like I said, if between Mike and Jody, if it wasn't for them, the ranch wouldn't be what it is because Mike and Jody are making it what it is. And I mean, I honestly think Jody's making it what it is because she never stops. If she's not at the ranch, she's at home doing books or taking care of, hey, what can we get? What can we do next? And, her and Teresa was just sitting down yesterday going through, what are we going to do next year? What events are we going to have? We're going to have a badass bike show in July of next year. Don't hold me to that. I think it's July. I want to be one of the biggest sponsors of it. I think I'm going to take care of the trophies and myself for that. So, I mean, we're already working on what's going to happen next year. And there's going to be something every couple of weeks. I mean, there's going to be something, there's something every weekend. You come to the ranch, something will be going on, Right. If you want to have a cold drink, you can go hang out at the hog trough out back, which is cool as hell.
Yeah, it is.
And ain't it? Ain't that badass?
Yeah, that's I got some footage on my GoPro. I'm gonna whip together a little video here and have it on YouTube.
I mean, dude, what better place just to go hang out and chill out?
The place is awesome
for a minute,
Yep.
I mean, just the property alone. I mean, shit. If you want to just get off your bike and go walk the property, you can get yourself a good little walk in.
Yep.
So
I
mean, yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Do you ride?
Go ahead.
Do you ride?
Do I ride?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've rode all my life. I hate to say it. I haven't got a lot of miles under my belt this year. I don't even know if I got 300 under.
Oh, wow.
But, no, just between my knee and my back and, holding the bike up, I got a wide glide that was a 100th anniversary. but it's been all painted and, everything's changed on it. 8 bangers, fat spoked wheels, my paint job.
Right.
But, I get my old lady on there, and it's just getting hard to hold the bike up. And I mean, honestly, I've been looking at trikes, and it's just, damn, that next step just makes me that much older, So,
well, I got a buddy that's a couple of years younger than me, and he just went to a trike because of his knees and back. And we did the same profession I did it for 23 years, pushing sugar water for the big red machine.
Yeah.
He did the same thing, and his knees are junk, his back is junk. So he ended up switching. He had an Ultra, and he switched to a trike, and he's loving it.
Back in the day, we put damn 13 cars on a truck,
Yeah.
And when you're 20 years old, 22, 23 years old, I'm a damn superhero, I want to load and go. So I'm loading 13 cars in about an hour and 15 minutes. And, instead of doing something correctly, you're jumping off from one ramp to another or down on the ground. And it's my left knee, which is your clutch knee, So over 40 years of being out there on the road, my left knee's just wore out. My body's just beat up. I got was in an accident in 2000 and got hit. And I had a few plates put in my neck. And then I had my second neck surgery a couple of years ago. And they had to go in and put another plate in my neck. And, that affects, and it has, and it's starting to affect, and I hate even saying it just affects me. Let's just put it that way, but I just keep pushing through. So.
Yeah, I got my ex's dad. He's had a couple neck issues. He had surgery, but just putting a helmet on, riding with a helmet, and the wind blowing him around, it made it uncomfortable. He couldn't hardly ride.
Well, I got hit and I didn't have no lid on, and I ain't wore a lid in years. I maybe have had one on a handful of times, and me and my old lady even talk about it now when we go for a ride to put one on, because we've had our granddaughter since she was born, and Daphne, our little bug there, she's going to be 10, so we are raising her, and we had talked about putting a lid on just because, if something did happen, God forbid, and shit happens, all it takes is a blink of an eye, and, this life is over. It's short. And, I mean, right now she needs her Grammy and Papa,
Definitely.
But as we are dumbasses, we still ain't put damn lid on, so.
Well, and it all depends who you talk to. Some of the data says not wearing a helmet is better than wearing a helmet. I don't know. I wear mine sometimes.
It's like a damn seatbelt,
Yeah.
Sure, sometimes an accident, that seatbelt saves your life. But there's been times that, if you would have had a seatbelt on, you'd been dead.
Right.
Right. So the bottom line is when it's your time and that number comes up, it's your time. I don't care what it is.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's your time. There's a plan for all of us, and when that plan is met and done and over, it's your time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. That's very true. All right. So you're pretty much booked. You got room for like one more big job, or
I would take another job in, maybe even 2. So if anybody out there needs anything, definitely get a hold of me. We'll check it out and see what you got going on. Don't be afraid if you don't think you can afford it or not, because I'd be willing to work with you. It's pretty simple. So what I want out of that,
right.
If I do carry you, I mean, obviously you're going to have, some money up front, to at least cover materials.
Right.
But I'm there for you. I'll work for you. We're all there for you. Steel Horse Ranch is for not only bikers, but anybody out there that just wants to come and hang out and be a part of a family, that maybe you've never had, come to the ranch. You won't be disappointed.
No, you will not. All right, Jerry. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. I'm going to get down there again because I want to talk to you about doing some stuff. Maybe I'll just bring my figure down.
I'd like to. And let me know when you're coming so I can make sure I'm there, bro.
Yeah, I knew you were like sick last week. We talked and.
Yeah. So. And I don't get sick very much, but when I do, I'm a big baby.
Well, our wives say that about us anyways. Oh, he gets the sniffles and he's bedridden.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah. I don't know how my old lady does it, man. She's had 7 back surgeries.
Holy
and
cow.
That girl just keeps on freaking going and going and going. She doesn't stop. Her pain tolerance must be, through the roof. I mean, I think women, because of them having children, have a higher pain tolerance anyways. But oh my God, this girl don't stop. But, I mean, that's just, like Jody. How she don't stop.
Well, all the stuff that she does, people don't realize. They see her on a live or something like that. As a content creator that does that stuff on all the different social media platforms, there's a lot of work and a lot of time that you put into that stuff. It is like a full-time job. So
yeah, it is.
I mean,
and I think she's doing great at what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to thank her. Because, I'm not always there. But she does always include me. And, and not just within the ranch. They're like family. I love them, to death. And, but there is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that she does take care of. And like I said from the very, very beginning of this podcast, that if it wasn't for her, I don't think the ranch would be what it is right now, because who the hell would know we're there?
Right. Yeah, she's done an awesome job. And she's
making damn sure people know that we're there. So kudos to Jody. Hey, I love you, girl. Thanks for what you do.
Yeah, hats off to everyone at the Steel Horse Ranch. Definitely. It's an awesome place, and I can't wait to get Mike and Jody on here next week, hopefully, and kind of wrap this little series up.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be great.
It might be a long episode though. It sounds like if I get Mike talking about his bikes.
Yeah, that, and just in general, I mean, there's a lot more to talk about than even what I'm just throwing out there. And then you get them two put together.
Yeah, I spent like 2 hours there Saturday. So right. I mean, it was awesome.
Right. And not even real, dude, this podcast is over, and has it been that long? I don't even, it seems like I've been talking to you for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's been almost 40 minutes, 37 minutes right now.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I guess they say sometimes I can't shut up. So hopefully the podcast turns out pretty good.
I think it's going to be great. So
awesome. Awesome.
Like I said, thank you for taking some time out of your day.
No, anytime. I appreciate it. Sorry it took so long to catch up with me. And next time, let me know.
I'm persistent.
Me a heads up personally when you're coming so I can be there.
Yeah, we'll do.
And I appreciate you doing this and what you're doing, because you're getting us all out there too. Everybody that you do deal with.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I created the whole podcast for, was to get everybody, as many people out there knowing about as much biker stuff as I can.
So where's the podcast actually put? I I guess I'm being a dumbass right now, but bro, I don't even. So where do people go to hear the podcast?
Pretty much anywhere.
Let me ask you some stuff.
Okay. Turn the tables on me. All right. I like that, Jerry. So anywhere you stream your music, Spotify, Apple, Google. Well, I don't think Google's around anymore, but YouTube, you can get it on YouTube.
Okay.
Pandora, iHeartRadio. I mean, pretty much anywhere people stream music or podcasts,
awesome.
You can find this podcast. Okay. So
cool. And the name of your podcast is what?
The Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast. You better go in the
That's
Steel
it.
Horse Ranch and get some stickers, because there's some stickers in there. At least there was last week. I left a lot of them.
Yes, sir. Right on. Cool. Well, I appreciate you doing what you're doing. And, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to me,
Well, that's,
And if anybody needs anything, and like I said, if you just want to be a part of the family you ain't never been a part of, come hang out with all of us at Steel Horse Ranch. You won't regret it. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
I mean, Tim and them are doing great work, mechanical work. Teresa's got some badass stuff up there, and T's, what the hell? I just went brain dead, but
Tees and things.
Anyways, yeah, tees and things. She's got some awesome stuff up there, and
I seen they just got a bunch more of these chain link bracelet things.
Yeah. She's getting nicer stuff, and I think not that she hasn't had nice stuff, but she's getting a lot more stuff in there. A lot of leathers. I mean, you guys ain't gonna buy a leather nowhere else cheaper. I guarantee that.
Yeah, I know. She had a poll up on Facebook. What would you guys want to see? Looking for advice. That's awesome.
But yeah, again, Eric, Big E, I appreciate you doing what you're doing. Next time, give me a heads up so we can actually meet, and maybe you can hang out and see me in action doing something if you can stand the snow.
Oh, dude, we do at work. They do like all body work and everything in house for the buses. Right. So I went back there because we had two people put some dings in the buses. So the mechanic was back there doing body work, and I just went back there and I'm like, just smelling it. And I'm like, man, I love the smell of this stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't even smell it no more.
No,
I don't even smell it no more. And it's just, I mean, it really is a hazard, dude.
Yeah.
Even if there's not fumes, I mean, there's fumes. If you smell it, there's fumes, and them fumes are hurting you.
Yeah, they probably are, without a doubt.
But somebody's got to do it, right?
Right.
But all right, brother.
All right, man.
I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, and one more time.
Same here. Yeah, I'm gonna come down for sure. I'm gonna probably be down a lot more. Like I said,
we're gonna try to even have some things this winter too. It might something just where people could, let's all stay in touch. Just because winter rolls around, don't know. A lot of people like to disappear and hibernate, but I mean, I hope they don't do that, cage up, come in, see us, hang out for a little bit, but we're going to keep things.
I mean, got Christmas shopping and stuff going on. Yeah.
Here. So, but once again, I appreciate it. And if anybody needs anything, the best way to get a hold of me is to text message me. Don't call my phone. The best way to get a hold of me is to text message me. Double Take Customs, 810-293-4469. Text message.
There you go. Awesome.
That it. Cool.
Yeah. We're done.
All right,
we're out of here. All right, man. Thanks for taking time to talk to me.
Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Take care.
You too. Bye. There you go, bikers. Jerry Reardon at Double Take Customs. Like I said, I saw some of his work, and it's awesome. Definitely, if you want paintwork done, airbrushing done, you want your bike painted, he is definitely the guy to talk to. And like I said, it sounds like he'll work with you. So that's awesome. As is everyone down there at the Steel Horse Ranch. I actually just loved the vibe when I was down there. It was like a big family, and they just welcome you right in. Okay, bikers, that's all I got. Remember, life is short. Get after it. Thanks for listening to the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast. Remember, bikers, life is short. Get after it.